So I wanted to do a clone challenge. And what the clone challenge is forcing you to play The Sims in different ways every time you play. But every time you play, it is with the same sim. And so when you have each. So, what I'm going to do in this video is just create the sim I'm going to be using for this clone challenge. And this one's going to be the first one. And so it's our template. It's the one I'm going to be using, so I want it to be cute. And so with the original clone challenge that I found, every time you finish playing with it, you start a new save. But the way I play, that's usually how I play. So to make it different, I'm going to play through an aspiration with the sim. And when I finish that aspiration, I'm going to leave that sim. And I'm going to stay in the same save file, and I'm going to recreate the clone as clone 2. This first one is clone Uno 1, and you'll see that I name her that later on. And so, but I'm going to put clone 2 into the same save file. That way I'm seeing clone 1 and the effects of what she did, what I did, what I played previously. That way I'm not starting with a fresh batch, and I'm not like starting over every single time, but that way I'm living in the same world. But I'm still accomplishing all of these accomplishments. I'm going to keep accomplishing, keep growing, and keep unlocking everything. And it's going to be something I've never played before. And it's going to be much more completionary. So I was looking for names for related to the number 1, because I was thinking, like, I was going, it's like, oh, it's going to be clone 1, clone 2, clone 3, clone 4, and like her name was going to be a clone, first name, 1 last name, or 2 last name, 3 last name, and it's like, oh, that could be good. I guess that could be good. But then I was thinking about gameplay and how like, you know, when you get texts from somebody or something, it's like, oh, clone saw that you made friends with clone, that's really cool, you know? And it's like, oh, that would get really confusing, especially as I'm getting further along in the entire playthrough. And then another part of the the challenge is that this sim, they're going to look the same every time. I'm personally going to update things like hair, makeup, and clothing per aspiration. That way there's a little bit of a difference between each clone. But the things that have to stay the same are the traits. And so you saw that I chose the kleptomaniac trait, the ambitious trait, and the dancing trait. I really enjoy playing with the kleptomaniac trait. It adds a different level of spice to the game. I don't usually play with ambitious sims, and so that's gonna be fun. And then the dancing trait's just gonna be fun. It adds sort of character, I guess. I don't know, but those traits are going to stay the same with every iteration of the clone. The only thing that way that's going to change is the aspiration, because that's going to change with every clone that I play with. And so I'm going to play it all the way. I'm going to complete the aspirations. And so I'm really excited to do that, honestly. I am so excited. It's gonna be fun. I normally do more legacy challenges. Personally, try to see how many generations I can do. But I have like the attention span of like a 4th grader, so I only get through maybe 4 or 5 generations, and then something else shiny catches my eye, and I am off doing whatever else. And it's like, I really hope that this is going to be something different. It's going to be something very accomplishable. Um, that's not a word. I'm good with words, but I don't think that's a word. Achievable. That's it. Something really achievable. And so I really tried playing with this with the Sims facial features on being not really what my usual person is. Her eyes are a little bit more doe-eyed than I usually have really big cartoon anime eyes that I enjoy playing with, and so it was something different to have that bit of a different facial feature on her. And then I try to make my Sims bigger normally. I tend to run into issues with using CC just because the sliders are off, and the larger your Sim is, the more trouble you run into just in general. Unfortunately, it's the nature of it. And so I'll make sure to link to some more of the to what the original clone challenge is, the one that I'm basing mine off of. But mine is going to have different challenges, different features. I'm just going to play differently, and everyone plays differently, and that is fine. That is fun. It makes it different because everyone's playstyle is so different. Because like, there's so many different ways to play this game. You could try to break the game. You could be a builder. You could just create a sim after sim after sim after sim. Or you could be a completionist. You could try to ruin their people's lives. You could try to be a legacy challenge. You could do berry sims. I love berry sims so much. They're so beautifully aesthetic. They're fun. Or you could create your friends, and I just really love the whole just freedom of Sims so much. Oh gosh, I'm showing you the different CC I've collected over the years. I really love CC so much because these people have made these beautiful things. Oh, they're so impressive. So much. And so I'm just trying to kind of get this sim ready for her first aspiration, which is the animal friend to all animals aspiration. And I don't bless me. not corona, just up in my throat. So the aspiration, I'm just gonna start top to bottom, left to right to left, and that one's animals friend to all animals, and that way I'm using more cats and dogs. I'm using that, and I'm going to try to play this, and because like once it came out, I kind of like jumped on it for a while and then forgot about it, and that just kind of feels like the vibe of The Sims. Like there's tons of stuff, but there's no it doesn't carry through. It doesn't stick. So there's an analogy with The Sims 4 of where there's the meat and the frosting. And the meat of the game, so Sims 4 is all frosting. It's pretty. But you get underneath it, and then you kind of get to a styrofoam cake. And that's kind of what you got. It's all nice and pretty and fluffy on the outside, and you get in and it's like, oh, it's not that deep. And then in comparison, things like Sims 3 and Sims 2 were deeper, they were thicker, they were fuller. There was more to find and discover and evolve and unlock. You know, like it felt like you could play for hours and hours and hours and hours. And then with Sims 4, it just kind of feels like glorified dress up, glorified build. Like it's beautiful. I'm really impressed with how far they've come. But I'm also disappointed with there's no meat, there's no fluff. It's all fluff, you know. And so I'm just looking for different ways to play and to enhance that and to get back into a place where if they're not gonna make the meat, I'm gonna make the meat, you know? If you understand that analogy. I won't be uploading this clone to the gallery just because I have used custom content on there, and it's such a pain to try to track down all of the custom content. And like, as beautiful as it is, you can also Google it. You know, you can try to recreate it. That's fine. And yeah, it's great. But I'm so impressed with the sliders and with those differences, the skin changes. I'm so impressed. Like, it feels like it's been far too long and not quite where it should be, but it's so much better than where it was. It is so much better. And it opens up so much customization. And I can't wait for when they add that to hair. Because you know they've got to add it to hair eventually. And hopefully clothing too. But then again, you don't know if that's asking too much from the Sims team. But I don't know, we'll see. We're just happy to see where we are, where we've come from. You know? Also, like, all of the updates, like, it dates your game, your videos so quickly. Like, update after update after update. It's like, oh, you know when you recorded this video, you know? So it's, I don't know. I mean, like, it's really exciting to live and, like, to play during it feels live. It feels like it's living, breathing, evolving. Like, it's really cool. Compared to, like, jumping into a game or a fandom at the end, and it's already evolved to its end point, you know, and you don't see it get to grow and breathe and change. And so, like, that's really cool with Sims, but it's also really surreal to see the game change so much. But I'm really getting excited to play with Clone Una 1. Like, she's gonna be great. I'm excited to see who she is and who she becomes, and like, she's already got a character that I'm really excited to play with. Just from dressing her up, and it's like, okay, well, what would she wear? Like, what would she choose? Because, like, she's got these core traits that we've got on her, but then there's the aspiration of the animals. And so, like, what would this woman choose to wear? Like, what's going to make her different? What, you know? And, like, there's so much you can see and experience and learn just from how you see someone dress, you know? When I was choosing that, it's like, oh, she looks like a turtle. She looks like a turtle. I think she's really very cute, and I'm excited to play with her and to play with you guys, to just sort of play around. It's just fun. It's just fun to play. I'm suddenly running out of things to say. I don't know. It'll be good. This is going to be really fun to play with, and I'm really excited to try and reach all of these aspirations. Oh, I made that t-shirt. Baby's first CC, you know. But as it's wrapping up, just keep an eye out. I'm gonna play as much as I can, post as much as I can, and I hope you guys enjoy what I post. Oh, that poor CC doesn't have any cat clips. But I hope that you enjoy what I post, and I'll see you around as I play with all my clones. All right. Have a good day. Bye.